remember I was like 4-year old when 5 years old maybe, when Matti was jumping in the foggy jump in Oslo Holmenkollen, and I remember the feeling with my family. My mother was on the same time very excited and same time like very afraid something, probably that Matti will hurt himself, because he was a national hero after that, and that is very first memories of my life. Then when I was 9 years old, I met him personally, and he was very nice. I was asking for a signature, but I didn't have paper and pen, so I just turned around. I still remember his warm smile. And then when I was kid, he was really, really big hero, and when we were like 10-year-old boys, we were with some small skis, we were jumping at my home village, but still I remember that we also knew that there is something other, that he is not just a good guy. We knew that he is a bit, or maybe a more aggressive and very, very dangerous guy. So it's always been thinking that what is his story. Later, I came as a documentarist, I was thinking about his life, how much weird stuff it was. He was tripping in Järvenpää, in a small town, and he was acting very bad way. Finally, he was going to jail. And I thought that there was lots of text about him in tabloid papers, but I thought that there was not. It was usually repeating the same story, mostly repeating the same story with the new events, but it was never trying to go deeper level. And I think one problem was Matti's personality, because he was not like his daughter said, that father never talked anything else from his childhood. He never talked anything else than just ski jumping. He was not able to talk about his life, and it was probably been a problem. I was thinking that there should be a new, fresh way to tell what happened, and this was the very first time that Matti's mother and daughter and sister was telling in a movie what happened. And yes, that's maybe shortly.
How you get Matti's relatives to speak to your film?
I was just talking about what I'm going to do, and I gave them time to think about. I didn't want to pressure at all. I didn't push. I just talked. With Matti's mother, I had a few phone calls, many hours, and then I was visiting a couple of times, and we were talking, and without camera. Then finally she said that I wanna be part in this documentary. Same happened with Matti's sister. Matti's sister even checked my old works, how I'm treating people in my documentaries, and called me and said that it looks like you are treating in a good way, that you are not trying to, because Matti was like a tabloid guy, and it was like we wanted to go in an honest way. My aim was to make an honest documentary about Matti. And of course there was actually many people talk that they will know Matti's story, but it's very different, because actually like one feedback I got from a lady who came after the screening tell me that she has been followed Matti from 1981. She was little girl those days, and she had been watching all the television content and movies and so on. And now she came to watch my film and thinking that, okay, I have to go there, but probably there is nothing new for her. But she said to me that was unbelievable, that everything else but just the competition material, everything else was totally new for her. So she asked, where did you find this material? But of course it was the interviews, because also Matti's best friends were there, this Pepe and Petteri. They are first time ever. And also Matti's legendary coach, Matti Pulli, his wife and daughter, because Matti Pulli has died. His wife and daughter is there, or widow and daughter is first time ever. So there's so many people who have never talked before. So actually the material is really fresh. And the one thing is also that young people in Finland, they don't know very well Matti. Like 15, 20 years, it was nearly 20 years ago, 2006, I was working in YLE's youth programs, and there was film called Matti. It was fiction film based on Matti's life. And the main actor, Jasper Pääkkönen, was visiting in our youth TV show. And we make a story about Matti's life, 2006. And young people, teenagers, like 15 years old on those days. So they are exactly same age than Matti's daughter, Evelina. She was born in 1991. So that generation was they didn't knew that Matti is ski jumper at all. They knew Matti only that he is alcoholic, bad singer, and aggressive guy. But they was surprised about this film that what is he also a sport guy and even very good sport guy. That was all new information. But now, 3 years ago when I was starting this project and asked some young people, most of them knew Matti only by a sport hero. They didn't know. I was asking about how about his alcohol abuse? What are you talking about? How about his singing? Never heard about that. And the aggressiveness, and he finally get to jail. I was asking from youth and they said, what? Never heard. I only know that he's a brave sport hero. And then I realized that, of course, because that young people have heard only, probably the first time they heard Matti was when he was dying, 2019, February 4th. So after he died, media talked a lot about his good size, positive size, only the sport career and nothing about that. So actually in 15 years, it was a very big change. Like the youngsters from 2006, they know only the bad side, and the young people from 2020s knew only the good side. And older people, they thought they know a lot, but they didn't know the honest, because Matti was controlling media quite well, also cooperating. He was selling stories. He was calling journalists that, okay, come here and film a material, takes photos and write a story, and he was paid for that. He earned his money on 1990s and from 1990s he earned money from media. So it was not real journalism. It was like some kind of product of media. And yes.
How to be that kind of filmmaker and people trust you? What is make you special?
That's a good question. I think it's something that I'm not sure, I don't know, to be honest, but maybe it's in your personality and how you are treating people, how you are thinking about people, because I have always been, my biggest interest have been to understand people who are thinking same way as me. It's easy to understand, of course, but people who are thinking differently, it needs more energy to understand what are their motives. For example, I was trying to understand what made Matti do these kind of things, because Matti was, well, I love, okay, I got a bit, I lost my, I wanted to make the film like that there is as many interpretations than there is the viewers. And I wanted to give more questions than answers, because the complex person like Matti and all the complex things around him, you cannot simplify it. Nowadays, in this time in our world, we are trying to simplify everything. Very complex things we are trying to simplify in one or maximum 2 sentences, but it's impossible usually. Usually we are losing most of the information. But back to your question, so maybe it's the thing that I'm really interested about the people, and I am not just saying I'm interested. Maybe they can somehow, maybe there's some vibes that they can understand, but I don't know. It may be personal thing that you cannot learn. I'm not sure about. Yeah, it's about your person. I think how you treat each others. It's very important. And in my career, I think it's good thing that I'm naturally very curious about the whole world. I'm curious about the things. I'm curious about the people. I'm curious about everything. So I do the questions from my heart, from my soul, and I can be honest on that time. And I think I am not intrusive at all. And I think it's good and important thing, because if you are pushing people, they feel not nice and awkward. And also when doing documentary film, it's a long project, and if you are pushing somebody to the film, probably that's gonna later there's gonna be problems because he or she is feeling pushed and he or she wanna run away. He or she don't want to continue anymore because they are feeling like, what is this? Why I am here? If you are just somehow manipulating them, please don't manipulate people. Be straight with them. You have to be honest. Because nowadays, I think in the era of social media, there is so much manipulative content that people are trying to manipulate, or they are not honest. They are understanding. They want to understand things wrongly to get the aspect they want to tell. I'm in these things. I'm more traditional way. Yeah, you have to be honest and you have to respect the people. If you don't respect them, then probably it's really hard to do this kind of work. And you have to like them. I think I have never done documentary film that there was, even they are somehow can be bad people, you have to find some aspect to like them. Because if you just dislike or hate them, it's probably impossible to do a documentary film. But it's good to remember that there is millions of aspects to everything.